On this episode of Outlook TV, Coco Peru entertained the masses at the Stanley Theatre.
The Leaping Thespians have moved under a bridge.
Vancouver Queer Film Festival. The VQFF celebrated 25 years of queer film.
Welcome to Outlook TV. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
And I'm Dan Doomshaw. This is the news magazine show that brings you queer stories from coast to coast that matter the most.
You know who I've been missing? I've really been missing Connie Smudge.
Well, I've got good news for you.
Yeah?
She's back.
Yes!
And she's interviewing Coco Peru as she came through Vancouver, and Connie managed to squeeze her into her tight schedule. Connie?
Hi, kittens. It's your intrepid reporter, the unstoppable Connie Smudge, here on Granville Street, South Granville, as a matter of fact, reporting for Outlook TV. I have the most fabulous star when it comes to drag queens in the entire universe. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Coco Peru. Now, you know her from stage, you know her from film. Tonight, we're seeing a one-woman show, and I can't wait to show you what she has to say, and also have a little word with the producer, Christopher Logan. Gosh, Vancouver, look at the talent we have coming in. Aren't you excited? I am. Let's go inside and talk to her. Okay, let's go.
Welcome to my debut in Vancouver!
She was fantastic.
Wasn't she?
I laughed. I laughed till I cried.
That's exactly what I said.
It was so good. And all her positive reinforcement over and over again
100%.
was so brilliant. And then a look to crack you up.
What did you think of that fabulous show?
It was one of the best, most beautiful gay experiences I had. I got to listen to someone talk about us on a comedic level that was about, as an older gay person, right from our childhood all the way through, we got to laugh at ourselves. And I loved it, and I really am so appreciative that I went to that show, and I'm sorry for people who, like me, didn't know Coco, but next time they'll know when they hear the word Coco Peru, run to the show, believe me.
Tell me, you brought her here. What was the inspiration? Where did you come up with this fabulous idea?
Oh, if anyone has ever seen Coco Peru, Coco Peru is someone you need to see.
Oh, yeah.
She holds the weight of the stage. She spoke at B. Arthur's funeral. She inducted Jane Fonda in the Hall of Fame. She's been in every goddamn movie you ever wanted to see or be in.
Yes.
She's the girl we all want to be, the man we all want to love, and she is them all at the same time.
You have it all together, girl.
Pretty cool.
You had me crying. You had me laughing. And quite frankly, the whole audience was in stitches. But you just showed this drag queen a masterclass in how to do it right. Is there something you can pull from the show? Just a quick little snippet. There were so many jewels of wisdom.
I don't know if I can, but I think what people respond to is truth. And I think storytelling is a lost art. It's a wonderful experience, and I'm grateful that I've been able to do it for 23 years.
You touched so many chords with me as a young child. I'm going to get all emotional, but your voice is that of a nightingale at sometimes, and sometimes a big body broad, and I live for you.
Boldfest is officially 9 years old, and Carol Delinko was there for the celebrations.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
I'm Carol Delinko, and I am at the Coast Plaza Hotel in Vancouver for Boldfest. It's the 9th annual conference for bolder, older lesbians and dykes. How did this start?
10 years ago, I had gone to a couple of events within a 2-year frame. One was called Golden Threads, and it was in P-Town in Massachusetts, and it was for older lesbians. And I liked it, and that was sort of the inspiration.
Welcome to Vancouver, Karen.
Just came in from Cleveland this morning. I'm exhausted. This is Karen Williams Uncut.
Like
you get me sans lipstick and no earrings, which are my identifiers, means that I was sleeping.
You're ramping up for tomorrow?
Tomorrow is actually the show, Karen Williams at Boldfest. And then I have a workshop on Sunday morning. Humor and healing. Fortunately, the workshop is maybe an hour and a half because when you say healing to lesbians, that could be a 4-week. That could be a 4-week conference right there. But I'm going to heal them all in an hour and a half.
Wow, you work fast.
Very good. Just
Yeah.
a little pat on the forehead there, they're healed.
Why is it still going so strong?
Because we have to have this important space for women, and every year Pat and I get all anxious in the 2 weeks before the conference, and we think, why are we doing this? And then we get on the boat cruise, and there's a moment where we just remember why we do it. And we look around, we see so many women from different parts of the country having a great time.
What are the age ranges?
A couple of years ago, we had a 26-year-old from Vancouver Island who was just flipping through the websites there, and she saw Boldfest. She said, I like the sound of that. I want to go dancing this weekend. She got on the ferry, she came to Bold, and she had a great time. So it's not that we want to exclude anybody. Younger women are always welcome. It's more that we want a space that respects and holds the important issues for older women.
Talk to me about your experience and why you're a repeat delegate.
It's such a wonderful feeling to be with so many other older lesbians for openers, but then there's like incredible workshops. There's always at least one workshop that challenges your beliefs and attitudes. There's lots of fun and funny workshops, educational workshops. It's a really wonderful, wonderful place to meet people.
One of my favorite events in a Vancouver summer is the Queer Film Festival Out on Screen.
And this year was even more fabulous because they turned 25.
Yes, they did.
So we sent our reporter Gary to meet some of the international directors that are drawn to this great queer film festival.
This is Gary Wolfader for Outlook TV at the Vancouver Queer Film Festival, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary.
Yes, it's the 25th anniversary of the Vancouver Queer Film Festival and Out on Screen. So we're very excited to be turning the page and building towards the future. I guess you could say chapter 2 of Out on Screen.
For our 25th anniversary, we've been delighted to bring in some international directors. Tonight we have Beth Nelson and Anna Agrio, who are coming for Camp Beaverton, Meet the Beavers. And it's wonderful because they're from San Francisco, but a number of the subjects of the film are locals.
Well, Camp Beaverton is about the only all-women, trans-inclusive, sex-positive camp at Burning Man. They have possibly the world's largest women-only, trans-inclusive play party called the Strap-On-a-thon. I'm a former member of Camp Beaverton, and this was Beth, or Agent Nelson's, first time with the Beavers. Yes. And so Beth was really the Beav charmer.
We weren't permitted to film inside the Beaver Dome, so I acted as a caddy, and I handed out,
Tell them what a caddy is.
Yeah, so a caddy is just the person that kind of is available to hand out condoms, lube, gloves, strap-ons, dildos, whatever. I did my civic duty as a caddy at the Strap-On-a-thon.
We also had a very special guest this year, Adam Goldman from Brooklyn. He is the series creator of a web series that's been hugely successful called The Outs.
We shot last year in Brooklyn, New York, and it took us about a year and a half to make, which is a lot given that it's just under 3 hours of content. And it's a show about sort of the aftermath of an ugly breakup in Brooklyn between two guys named Mitchell and Jack. An important part of the equation for us with The Outs was that we would screen the episodes publicly as they released, which was every 6 weeks. We would get people together at a bar in Brooklyn called Public Assembly, and we would usually draw somewhere between 300 and 400 people. We decided to stop making The Outs because we figured there were two options. We could either stop while people were asking for more, or we could make them until people begged us to stop.
Why do you have two phones?
This one is just for my sluts. What's your last name?
Director Selena Blake investigates homophobia in Jamaica.
Taboo Yardies is the first documentary of its kind, to show the Prime Minister, to show the voices of the victims in Jamaica.
Selena, what was your greatest challenge?
First, it was the community, the LGBT community in Jamaica, getting them to trust me as an outsider, looking into their world, trying to tell their story, their voice.
Anytime you are known faggot at Jamaica, you're going to get beaten. If not today, or tomorrow.
Just from south of the border, from Seattle, Billy Rain, and Basil Shadid, who were the director and producer of Revolve.
It's a playful film that sort of tackles some of the issues that the queer and gay communities are dealing with, and it specifically addresses gay marriage, but in kind of a playful way.
If you see Revolve, you'll see that it's not just your standard marriage equality story. It actually takes a pretty unique spin on it and talks about the politics involved with it and about the faces of the queer community that may not necessarily be represented in typical mainstream gay media.
By chance going towards Seattle?
Yeah, I am.
Awesome.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
Okay.
This has been Gary Wolfader at the Vancouver Queer Film Festival.
We need to take a little break now, but don't go anywhere because we'll be back.
Give me a break, give me a break, break me off a piece of that LGBTQ bar. Let's just call it a gay bar.
Well, it seems as if it's the end of summer in Toronto, and I can only think of two good things that come with the end of summer. The first, I get to eat carbs again. And the second are all the fabulous events happening in Toronto over the month of October. October 3rd is the Pink Page's 24th birthday bash, and they're having a party at Woody's. The party is in celebration of the 24th edition, appropriately titled The World is Coming, in celebration of World Pride 2014. There'll be a spectacular show that kicks off at 9:30 with the talents of Shawnee, Robin DeCradle, Nikki Chin, and Ty Austin. Also on October 3rd is the biennial celebration of Canada's LGBT human rights pioneers at the Canadian Queer Hall of Fame. Recognized internationally as Canada's Pride event, this year it's hosted by the unstoppable Connie Smudge. As winner, this evening is guaranteed to be full of entertainment and comedy. Get your tickets to the Canadian Queer Hall of Fame and be witness to the induction of some of Canada's finest. TCOT is a social fundraising organization, and this year's 27th coronation is titled Blondes Having FUN in the Casino: Friendship, Unity, and Nonsense. Final performances will be by reigning Emperor 26 Ricky Lake, Ontario, and reigning Empress 26, the one, the only, the sensational, and the sexy Michelle Duberry. Congratulations as well to TCOT, as this is the first year that they have fundraised over more than $100,000 for local community charities. October 18th is the return of DFMO, one of my favorite recurring parties in Toronto at Buddies and Bad Times Theatre. Dance Floor Makeout. Each month it's hosted by the hunka burn and love everybody's favorite in Toronto, David Kraft. DJs John Caffrey and the Robotic Kid will have your feet a-stompin' and your tongues a-waggin'. We'll see you there for Dance Floor Makeout. Also, don't forget to check out, playing until October 6th, is the world premiere of controversial play Pig. Directed by Brendan Healy, this play explores the darkest possibilities of love. And lastly, on October 28th, you can be a dancing queen at this year's Fife House Spotlight, a celebration of the Toronto production of Mamma Mia. Your money will go to support Fife House, which is Canada's largest provider of affordable accommodation for men, women, and families living with HIV or AIDS. There'll be plenty of dancing and lots of singing, so get your tickets and put on your dancing shoes for the Fife House Spotlight Concert fundraiser, Mamma Mia. That about wraps things up here in Toronto for the month of October. Of course, there's always Halloween coming up on the 31st, and I'll have lots of footage of that on the next episode of Out Across Canada, Toronto Edition. Don't forget, you can always call me gorgeous.
Coming up on October 9th, we have the Black and Blue Festival, which is one of the world's largest gay benefit dance festival. It started in 1999 as a simple fundraiser for HIV/AIDS and has since then grown into a 7-day, full-fledged fest. Cafe Cleopatra will be hosting the Candy Ass Cabaret on October 18th. This is some of the best entertainment in the historic part of the main vaudeville. It will be featuring dances, drag, burlesque, circus, and much more. On October 9th, there will be a letter writing night at Lukajibi with the Prisoners Correspondence Program. This program seeks to create pen pals between queers living within prison to those outside of the prison system. There will be a coordinator on site that will help answer your questions and get you started writing your first letter.
We're going to take you now to the wonderful world of makeup.
That's right, this year Vancouver hosted the world's largest makeup trade show, and we're not making that up.
We sent our reporter Trevor.
This is Trevor Kozlow reporting from the International Makeup Artists Trade Show here in Vancouver, where we're going to go inside, take a look at all the new exhibitors and all the great new makeup products on the market. Let's go in and see how to make everyone beautiful.
And it'll get
Multiple Emmy Award-winning makeup artist Kevin James Bennett has gone from painting mannequins to today's icons.
I landed a job at Bloomingdale's in New York City, and I landed in the cosmetic and accessories department. But that wasn't what kind of kicked it in for me. One of my friends was the person that headed the department for all the windows on the Lexington Avenue and the 3rd Avenue side. He asked me once, he said, would you like to work with us in the windows? And I was like, sure. He had like 50 mannequins to do for one stretch of windows. And I get into the window, I'm working late one night, and they give me this basket of makeup. So I'm sitting there painting faces, the light bulb went off, and I was like, this is what I really want to do. So it was all about taking the creativity and the art of painting and painting with makeup, instant gratification.
Kevin has created a revolution in the makeup world with his new line of professional makeup brushes.
These brushes are actually the evolution of the modern makeup brush. We needed brushes that sort of cross the barriers because now we're in an HD environment all the time. You can do beauty makeup, special effects, body painting. You can use the same brushes in your little collection and do every kind of makeup artistry without having to switch over to specific brushes because they pretty much do everything. I find that very exciting because I'm getting old and carrying 5 million different sets of brushes hurts my back. So this is actually to make me feel better.
Vancouver's own legendary artist Jaylene realized her passion at a young age.
How I got started in the makeup industry was from a very young age. I've always been inspired by the arts. So I loved fashion magazines and I loved to draw. So I would draw pictures from the fashion magazines and I found that I could really escape and have a lot of fun with it and really explore. Being a transgender woman in the industry of beauty, I think one of the most important things for people to do is to realize that anybody's authentic self is beautiful. And I think if we can set an example for people that no matter who you are, if you have the determination and the passion to be successful, it doesn't really matter what you're wearing. Just be yourself, have a good time, and I think that people are inspired by that. I really prefer doing things sort of in spur of the moment. I spent many years sort of really working on different technique with makeup, and I find that if I just let go and just trust on that technique, something always comes together. For example, a couple years ago there was the Alice in Wonderland theme here at the IMAT, so I did my own version of the Mad Hatter, and that was kind of fun.
Reporting from the IMATs here in Vancouver, this has been Trevor Kozlow for Outlook TV.
It's time for us to take another little break, but don't go away, there's lots more to come.
We'll meet you right here. Right here.
We met a young gay deaf man from Russia.
Welcome back to Outlook TV. We're going to take you now to the Leaping Thespians.
That's right, our reporter Ray Clark went on a hunt for the thespians, and she found them under a bridge. Wonder what they were trolling for.
Go and find your goal in life, and then come back and be my wife.
Hi, this is Ray Clark here in Vancouver, British Columbia. I'm about to interview the Leaping Thespians about their new fringe play.
Again. 1, 2,
Maybe you could tell me a little bit about where you come from, where you're going.
Sure. We're a women's theater group, and all the plays that we do have lesbian content. There's several lesbians in the group, and we feel like that's the kind of theater that's not getting produced by all the other theater companies around, so we focus on that. We have quite a broad range of amount of experience and training, and we all just work together and help each other to do plays.
Tell me a little bit about the Fringe.
Well, the Fringe Festival is a huge, unadjudicated theater festival. Independent theater artists put on shows, and it has 3 different areas. They have the regular main stage production plays, which are in theaters. They have Bring Your Own Venue, where artists find their own place to put on the play. And they have the program that I was in, the site-specific program, where under guidance and mentorship, we first found a site, and then we went through a whole workshop on how to make a play out of a site.
I declare.
What is this play about?
The show is about a village of amazing women that get disrupted by a troll and her sidekick Toadie. And so they are living this really beautiful, peaceful, harmonious existence until the troll and Toadie come over and take over the village.
What's the lineup for this year for the Leaping Thespians?
This year we're going to reintroduce the Christmas show. That's going to be, I think, a long-standing traditional piece that we do. So that, coupled with the Man Up, the Drag King shows, and maybe even Women for Women. And I'm hoping that we're going to get on the web. So maybe do a web series with Women for Women, because it really showcases all of the individual characters and their stories of going online. So I think that has huge potential for a web series.
This Fringe production was written by Karen, because it's a collaborative process. Were you guys helping her to write?
Yeah, LTs, we are a bunch of us that come together at different times, but we all seem to share the same brain somehow. So there's bits of everybody in everything we do, which is great, because we bounce ideas off of each other and just always have constant feedback and constant adjustment, and always room to screw anything up or change anything, and nobody's feelings get hurt. It's just come together and see how good we can get it.
Now, obviously, technical things are a challenge here at this site. So how are you going to accomplish lighting and things like that?
We have all these different ideas that we've come together with gels and headlamps that make fire and little lanterns with people that will actually be directing focus there with lanterns. Just bring the light to where we need it. And because it is just so new and different, you can do anything you want and just keep trying until it works.
Troll don't get out much these days. See, she's waking up, feeling old and village.
Even though he's not wearing his short shorts, he's up next, Skylar Bear with sports.
That's right, anytime queers are playing with balls, Skylar is there. It's your Outlook TV sportscaster, Skylar Bear, bringing you all the sporting events that are happening with Vancouver's queer sports leagues. Well, September is all about new seasons, and that's no different from our sporting leagues. The GLBTQ 10-pin bowling season begins down at Rev's Bowling Alley in Burnaby, where all the familiar friendly faces of the English Bay Bowling and West and Wild Wednesday leagues are back, along with some already fresh new ones. The team welcomes all new players, and there is no closing date to register. These are some of the most fun group of bowlers you will ever meet, so come on down and knock a pin or two down with them. You can sign up as a couple, team, or spare. For more information, visit their website or Facebook page. Double Rainbows are back in the air. The Double Rainbow Dodgeball League kicks off a brand new season next week and always welcomes new members. Feel like throwing some balls around and meeting some new friends this season? Bring on your competitive arm and sign up with this colorful and vibrant league by visiting their Facebook page. Players of all skill levels are welcome. And who doesn't enjoy being hit by a bunch of Nerf balls? The Vancouver Tennis Association welcomes their winter indoor session at Sportstown for the season. Although the cooler season is just around the corner, that doesn't stop VTA from serving it up in the court. For more information how you can get involved, visit vtatennis.ca. Also, a big congrats to VTA for placing first in the team category this year for this year's 2013 Vancouver Pride 5K run, put on by our very own front runners. Nice work, VTA. Speaking of front runners, these team of joggers have quite a marathon of events coming up. Want to start running this fall?
The frontrunners have a Learn to Run program beginning this month, which will gear you up to be the best runner you can be. Following in October, Vancouver frontrunners have their Victoria Marathon/Half Marathon on the 13th, and then a very exciting Whistler 50 relay on October 19th. For more information on how you can get involved and regular running schedules, visit frontrunners.org. Well, that's it for this September-October edition of Outlook TV Sports. I'm Skylar Baer, your Outlook TV sportscaster, kicking off.
In support of the LGBTQ community in Russia, we have been staging some kiss-ins here in Vancouver.
Yes, I saw this on Facebook. That's right. One of my friends helped organize this. It's to show the level of acceptance we have in this country in front of the Russian consulate. So Gary was there to cover this story.
We met a young gay deaf man from Russia who had experienced personally persecution. He had been arrested for participating in a rally like this.
Tuesday of last week, I was listening to Savage Love, Dan Savage's podcast, and he was talking about All Out, the organization that was putting these global speakouts on all over the world. And he said to look online for where your event was in your city. And I looked, and Vancouver didn't have one happening yet. And I thought, that's crazy. This is Vancouver.
So I just started planning it on Facebook and created an event and started inviting people, and my little 400-person invite list grew to, I think, well over 3,000 invites today, and it just kind of exploded from there and took flight because Vancouver is just very passionate and ready to support this kind of cause.
People click and say, yes, I'll be there, and then they never show up. Well, people showed up tonight. People brought their caring and their compassion, and they stood here and raised their voices, and that's just so important. And our Russian brothers and sisters are watching, and they appreciate this. They've told us how much this means to them, so it's the least we can do for them.
Peace Light stands united in support of people across the world who face discrimination.
And I have a gay son. He came out 10 years ago, and I was here to say that moms worry, and moms worry all over the world. And if I can worry about my gay son here in Vancouver, how does it feel to be the mother or father of a queer child in Russia with all of the extra problems they have there?
I say shame on you, President Putin.
Shame!
Regardless of your politics, as a self-proclaimed humanitarian, you have been a disgrace to your office and to your country. Look at the legacy you're leaving, Mr. Putin. I think now is a good time for you to sit and reflect and anticipate your great shame and the shame in your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren's eyes if you continue this way.
Shame!
We've got to have equal rights for everybody.
I feel like this went really well. I mean, for it to turn into this kind of turnout just from a tiny little Facebook event, I'm really pleased with that, and not surprised because, like I said, we're Vancouver, and this is what we're about.
Well, darn, we've come to the end of another episode of Outlook TV, but thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, and there's still more ways that you can be in touch. You can visit us on our Facebook page and like us. You can tweet about us. You can go to YouTube and watch our old episodes. Or you could just join our team. Why not? We're all volunteers and we'd love to have you join us. So you can get in touch with the email below.
I'm Rebecca Wyman. Thanks so much for joining us.
I'm Dan Doomshaw. Stay fabulous, Canada.